Welcome to the worldwide debut of the all-new Fjord 490 Open, a bold new chapter for one of the most iconic yacht builders on the planet. In this exclusive video, we're joined by Fjord's project manager for a full tour of this revolutionary model. And trust us, you've never seen anything quite like it. Andrea, it is so nice to see you again here at the Fjord stand.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you so much for having us back.
Yes,
we
sure.
are at the Palma International Boat Show 2025, and we do have an amazing vessel to jump onto today. And Andrea is going to be taking us around and showing us all the specs of this gorgeous vessel. So please, Andrea, let me know, what are we going to jump on today?
So today our newborn baby is a Fjord 490 Open. I said it open because we have also a sport version which we will present later on this year in USA, which comes with 3 times outboard 600 Mercury.
Wow.
But here in Palma we go first time with inboard versions.
Fantastic, absolutely. I cannot wait to jump on board and have a look, because there are some things that are absolutely brand new to Fjord as well. So let's do it. Let's jump on board, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you. As always, we are going to start on the swim platform. But Andrea, please tell me, what is so unique about this swim platform?
Yes, as you can see, we are sit here together looking backwards. So looking where the scene is, where the kids are swimming or playing with their inflatables. We have a platform that goes down, and of course, to ease the way to the platform, we have a ladder integrated.
Yes, I love that.
But most of the times we think and we look at the detailing. So we have created now a recess here on this area in order to walk through this and to use this also when the platform is down.
Mm-hmm. That's lovely. I like that so much, because you don't have to be climbing on board, you don't have to be climbing on the actual cushions itself. You have a beautiful walk around down the bottom here. Love that.
Thank you. And then we have the sun pad here, which is 220 minimum, I think 220 to 30, and can allow 2 people standing here as well.
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely massive, and it's so comfortable to sit on it as well. And that's the main thing. You want to be comfortable wherever you're sitting, and
Yeah.
this is perfect.
Thank you.
I just want to point out before we head over just how smooth this transition down here is. It is so beach club-like, and it's very comfortable. That slight lean that you have is all that you need to make this the beautiful spot for the afternoon. I quite like it.
So we are now here where our balcony is, and as usual, as I say, the design is at the disposal of the owner, of the user of the boat, no? And that's why we designed these frames of the balcony, and we integrated the handrail, because the handrail you can use as handrail when the balcony is closed,
yes.
And then you can put fender when the balcony is open,
yes.
Allowing it to enter to the boat and secure the stability of the boat. Second thing is the cleats, because our boat is used by our owner. Our owner are proud to use our boats, sure. So we create a position for the cleats, which is not at the level of the ground, because of course we cannot put on the balcony, but still is very usable to use, very easy to use. So you do the mooring here, and inside you have self-tailing cleats, electric, that can be used by feet. So you do the mooring with your feet without going to the level of the ground, and then you close the balcony.
That is so clever. What a great design. And I'm sure that we have a little footage as well showing you exactly how that works.
Yeah, we have.
Now, Andreas, please speak to me about these seats and how customizable they are.
Yes. So here again, when we design boat, we always speak with the owner, with the dealer, to understand how they use a boat, and then we imagine the future and try all the time to bring some uniqueness to the habit of the owner. So on this boat, we had the possibility to create a big sun pad and of course a big table. So the height of the table is 1 meter, and you can see here And of course, with this brightness, and you have two, you
Yes.
can lower one table here and then use this area as a chaise longue under the shadow. And of
Beautiful.
course, if you want to enlarge the area under the sun,
Yes.
it's just simply take these seats, move it, and put like this. You lower this table, you put upholstery on top, and you let this table up. So here you can have people, up to 4 people sitting and drinking, for example. Here you can have your sunpad under the sun, and here you can have a nice sunpad under the T-top. And everybody has his own area to enjoy and to relax.
Thought of everything. Amazing. I love how big this sun pad is as well. But of course, if you wanted to be under the shade, like Andrea said, you do have the option to pop a cushion down here as well when the tables are lowered and you have an extra spot underneath the T-top. Fantastic. I want to take a moment because we have been speaking with Fjord on the possibility of doing a sea trial. So stick around for that, because if we do get a sea trial, you definitely want to see it because it is going to be so much fun. Andrea, I have noticed that we have handrails everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, and also this one here. Tell me about this handrail.
Yeah, yes. When we speak about walk around,
Yes.
we speak about a boat which is easy to use and safe. Not only by doing the mooring, but also during navigation.
Yes.
And we asked our designer to fill the boat with safety and handrails. But how to do that, integrate in the design. So first of all, we create an handrail, which also is the sustained part of the table. Then we integrate the handrail in the part of the hull, and when the balcony is up, you can use as a handrail. When the balcony is down, you can use to put your fender.
Yes.
Then when it comes to the pillar, we want also to have a handrails, the best one to grab, and that's why we integrated the handrail inside of the pillar. You cannot see it from the outside, it's not on the way through,
Yes.
but it's so useful because you instantly grab it when you are in navigation.
Absolutely.
And then when we move forward, we also integrate a handrail here, and when you walk through the boat, you still continue to have handrails. Now we have one handrail here, which is integrated in the design of the boat, and of course one handrail here for the co-pilot seats. We go to the bow, and we have one handrail where the sunpad is.
There is something that I really want to point out, and it's these fenders. Now, you may have been on the older Fjords and you may have seen the fenders like this, but not exactly the setup that it is right now. This makes my life so much easier because guess who is popping the fenders out when we go out on the water? Me. So, let me show you. Bring this up. Your fender is tucked away, so flush, so nice. Bring it up, flip it over, and literally drop it down. And there we go. Your fender is over. No need to tie anything off. You pop that back down and it is so flush and so clean. What a great design. So now that we are up on the bow, I'm going to get Andrea to explain the design concept behind this massive sun pad and this really cute little dinette seat at the front here. Yes,
So the idea is, as soon as we reached our 2.10 m sunpad and we put the cup holder on top of it, 4 of them, we thought it could be very nice to have a cozy dinette in this area to separate a little bit, to create a little bit of privacy of the group of people that stay in the cockpit. So we created this area. Below we have the anchor movement, and of course we put 4 cup holders just to enjoy this area under the sun.
Speaking of cup holders, you all know how much I love my cup holders, and there are 8 of them up here. But I must say, this is the perfect little spot to have an intimate conversation while, you know, having some privacy, but still being within the people, still integrating with the people on the boat.
Yeah. As soon as we saw that there is this 1.5 meter space, you are actually seated on top of the anchor chain movement, which come foldable out. We put some cushion there. We use the workaround of the hull to create the backrest, and then we mirrored it here in this position because we have already our 220-meter sun pad. So, and of course we noticed that already here in the boat show how people that have to have a conversation tend to sit in this area and stay still on board but separated from the rest.
Correct. It is the perfect spot, and I have seen a few people have some conversations up the front here, and I thought, you know what, I want to sit here too. All right, so I just want to speak about, do we have the option to have a little bit of shade on the bow as well?
Yes, of course. You have here the two pools. You can have here a big tent on top and sun awning, of course, and have it also somewhere some shadow.
Fantastic. They've thought about everything. Now, let's move up back into the cockpit area. I'm going to hand it over to Rob to speak about the Helm with Andrea.
Okay guys, well, it's time for me to introduce the Helm, and believe it or not, when you first look at the Helm, you're going to think, yep, it's just another Helm. But even I was guilty of that until Andrea explained some of the features of this Helm, and once I've understood them, they are really, really interesting. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Andrea. He's going to give us a brief overview of that, and then I'll show you what I like about the Helm. Andrea.
Super, thank you. As general for our Helms, we have 2x 19-inch plotter from Simrad. We decided to give also to the Volvo Penta instrumentation a separate inch so that the Volvo Penta instrumentation are always at sides. We are speaking about 2x IPS 800. We have the throttle, and of course we put the joystick a little bit on the direction of workaround, so to allow the owner to joystick also in this position and looking the side of the boat.
Okay, yeah, I like that idea. So what Andrea was explaining to me earlier is that the steering wheel is actually off center to the helm seat. And when you first look at it, you think, that's really, really strange. Until you understand the logic behind it, and once you experience it, it's quite incredible. So obviously these are fully adjustable this way. I've got to say, I really like these Helm chairs, and they have actually been custom built by Fjord. They had them specially made, and they're very, very cool. And I love the fabric that they've used. You know, if I was fitting out a boat and I hadn't seen this, it probably wouldn't be my first choice. But now that I've seen it, it would be my first choice. I absolutely love it. But let's get back to this. When you're sitting at a boat, we always think you need to be sitting in front of the steering wheel. But the fact is, if you've driven a boat, you know that you really don't use the steering wheel that much. In fact, if I'm underway, I'm actually using autopilot. At which point, the only thing I'm using is my throttles. So if I'm hitting a big swell, I'm backing off on the throttles. As I'm coming down and out of the swell, I'm going back into the throttles. So I need to have access to the throttles more than I need to steer. But look at this. Perfect. Ergonomically designed to be in complete balance with my driving style. And this applies to everyone. I've got the gauges in front of me. I can see exactly what's going on. I have full view of the bow, the sides. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And as Andrea already pointed out, I have my engine gauges directly down here. I don't have to be finding them. They're just bang, right in front of me. Right here on the left-hand side, I have actually got my autopilot, which is the main thing I'm using predominantly most of the time. My throttle's here, and of course our joystick. And if you follow the channel, you know that I'm becoming more and more of a fan of joysticks, especially in this case. So we've got twin 800 Volvo IPS engines, and with the IPS, these work really well. You can just do absolutely everything. Of course, put a bow thruster in, and you've now got full control of the bow if the wind's trying to blow it off as well. So really, really well done. I like this, you know, and if I hadn't understood what was going on behind this concept, I might have said, that's a bit strange. Now that I actually see it, it's really good. And of course, as you know, I love to stand up, and this is exactly where I would be. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but you can see just how comfortable this is right here. Obviously, as I always say, the gauges, very sleek, very clean, they all light up. Job well done in my opinion. And I'll finish off with this. Look at that. You know, when it gets really rough and I don't need to steer because I'm under autopilot, I can hang on here You know, they've thought of everything. You know, we've got a half screen, but I'm pretty well sure that we can get a full screen if we want, correct?
Sure. Correct.
So you can have your choice of what you want. So with that, we're going to keep moving. But what I want to do is I want to take you back to something that really impressed me. And I want to just point out some of the detail, because when you're in boating, the devil is in the detail. And it's not until you have to use it or you're working with it out on the water that you really understand just how important these little things are. So come with me, I want to come back here and have a look at this. The reason I've brought you back here is I just want to spend a couple of seconds, so bear with me, to explain how well this design is done. Because if you don't really look at the detail involved, then you won't understand. And if you look at this, look how this drops down, right? It's so well designed so that this fits in perfectly and you have this gorgeous sun lounge. Of course, getting it up, as simple as that. And then if I want, I can bring it forward and I've got more room, but you don't need it. You just don't need it. The sunbed is so large, it's, you know, ridiculous. The other thing that, of course, has been pointed out, but I want to point it out again, is with the 49, they've actually gone to the wings. And this just gives you so much room, you know. You've got them on both sides. You've got the integrated handrails. It just opens the boat up in the area that you use the most when you're anchored. Let's face it, this is predominantly where we all are, or we're up on the bow. So now we've got, I would go as far as to say, a third more room by having both these wings down. And this winch is just super, super cool, right? So look, with that, I've got to say, I think Fjord have done a really, really good job on the 49. I've been excited to see it. As I said earlier, the devil is in the detail, but it's so well done. We've got our awning that's coming out here. You know, it's electric, which is the best way to have them. And you just really couldn't ask for much more out of a 49-foot boat. The best walk-around boat is one that's adaptable and meets your needs as the owner. So with that, let's go and have a look at this galley, because trust me, on a walk-around boat, you have never seen a galley like this. This is about to blow your mind, and I'm going to hand it back to Andrea and Ange to show you around.
Now, stepping into the galley, like Rob said, you have never seen anything quite like this. So, Andrea, please.
Thank you. So, coming from Italy, food is important, and food in boat means space, and food in boats means also crockery and cutlery. So space, crockery and cutlery, everything's together. But first, if I want to prepare a cocktail for my guest, or somebody's preparing a cocktail, I open the galley and I instantly create a sort of protection between guest and the galley. And this protection is done by glass. So it exists, it can be perceived, but it doesn't destroy the design when they are open. I have 220-meter galley, and I have here 2 fridges for food. Plus, I have 2 fridges, drawer fridges in the sunbed, under the sunbed for beverage. Then I have storage place for cutlery, and of course I have a possibility to install here an espresso machine with the 220.
My gosh.
The nice thing is when you have everything done here, you want to cook food or you want just to prepare food for a day boat, you need space, and the space is here, under 2 drawers. One here.
Oh, that's huge.
And one on the other side.
Right. My gosh.
And for the cutlery,
You've utilized every space in the galley so well, and I feel like you said, you don't want to move too far from the galley. Everything is within arm's reach. Everything you can just pop out, pop onto the bench here and prepare your meals. And
and dedicated space for food.
Yes.
Because it must be clean, no? a special part of storage area is here in the galley.
Yes, absolutely. And it's done so well. And how big is this bench that comes across? I mean, we have a sink here, we have your preparation area, we have your cooktop, and of course you have this little protection barrier as well, but it doesn't block you off from the guests sitting out in the cockpit. Another important thing about being on a boat is to make sure that you have enough fridges and you have enough storage for your use. Now, we have 4 fridges on here. We have 2 underneath in the galley here, and we have 2 that are underneath the back bench there where the sun lounge is. So wherever you are, whenever you want to get a cold beverage, you have exactly what you need right by your side. Now, the other thing I did mention was storage. Now this is so clever, so let me show you where we have a special storage locker on actually both sides. And when Andrea showed me this, it made me so happy because it's so clever. Are you ready for this? Let me show you the easiest storage that there is. Look at that. We have one on both sides, and as you can see, it's so easy to open and close it. Literally one hand, one finger gets this open. It is so clever. So of course you can lift up all these cushions as well, because this whole bench underneath here is storage, giving you even better access to that down there. And with that, I'm going to head down to see the accommodation. But first, Andrea, tell me, what will I find down there?
Okay, so we are in a 45-feet boat walk around, and here you will see something unique. You will see 2 cabins, you will see 2 toilets, and you will see inside the toilet 2 separate showers.
Nice.
But then you have to find out where is the owner cabin, because the 2 cabins are both of them are huge.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see which one I choose as the owner cabin. Thank you, Andrea.
No problem.
Now, stepping into the front berth, the first thing I notice is the head height that we have. I am comfortably standing here. I don't have to crouch down. I've never had to crouch down, even coming down the stairs, which is brilliant. And we have so much room, so much natural light coming through, and that escape hatch up the top there as well. I really like the design in here. Now behind me, I believe we do have a area for storage. We have our TV up above, and I believe behind there we would have even more storage too. This is quite lovely. Now, I still haven't chosen which one is going to be my cabin. Swapping places with Rob. Here is where our ensuite is, and there is actually a lot of room in here as well. Look at this. We have room for a rainhead shower. I thought that was a mirror, but that's actually part of the stainless steel that is polished so well. Lovely basin, massive mirror, and of course your toilet. Yeah, I think I'd be choosing this one. If you choose this one too, let me know down below in the comments, because I'm going to show you the second cabin now. And while the second cabin's pretty special, I still think I would choose this. Would you? Let me know. Stepping down into the second cabin, we have a few steps down here. We do need to bend down a little bit, but the big thing about this cabin is it is full beam, and we have so much storage on both sides here with those massive windows with the opening portholes too. Now, this is a beautiful cabin, and of course the feature is that it is full beam. But you know what? Andrea asked me which cabin I would choose. I think I would still choose the one that has its own ensuite. Now, you do actually have a shared dayhead and bathroom here. So I'm going to show you that before we head back upstairs. This is still quite nice though, isn't it? Have a look how much room there is. So stepping back up, here is where I mentioned that we have our shared day head and the bathroom for our second cabin. And you know what? There is a lot of room in here too. Okay, let's head back up and we will finish off maybe, let's say, on the bow. As you can imagine, this boat is getting a lot of attention, which is why Andrea had to step away very quickly. But I do want to thank Andrea and the Fjord team for having us on board the Fjord 490 Open. If you like this yacht, or if you like this boat as much as we did, please give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below what your favorite part of this boat is. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Life Beyond the Bow. So with that, ciao for now.